UFC Fight Night Erin Blanchfield versus Maycee Barber. I'm here to give you my full card breakdown on the fight card, as well as my predictions on who I think wins and how I think they win. Welcome back. I know it's been a while. Obviously, wasn't any UFC last week, so just ready to be back. Before we get started on the predictions, just a few things to cover. One, we finally hit 500 subs on YouTube, so I just want to thank everyone who has followed me from TikTok since September of 2023. Has helped me grow my channel over there to 15,000. Now a new account that has over 1,000 followers now too. Please go follow there as well. But 500 subs to me means something, so I can't wait to hit 1,000. But I want to thank every single one of you that has just supported me throughout this process. And I did say, once we hit 500 subs on YouTube, I will be doing a giveaway. I will be giving $50 to 3 different people. So anyone who had commented on my last video, I put you in a nice little raffle thing, and I came out with 3 winners. So I'm going to say them out loud here. I'll have Chris, my editor, put him here as well. Put him in the description and all that. And if you see your name, if you have any other way to DM me, you can comment on the video, your Cash App or whatever. Cash App's preferable. Or DM me on Instagram, TikTok if you're on the Discord. Obviously, just message me there. That's probably the easiest way to reach me. But the 3 winners are Gabriel Arroyo 84, Andy Fan Vlogs 1870, and Space. I just noticed they all have numbers. Space Kid 6785. So if you have heard if one of these are you, collect your $50. I mean, like I said, I've been doing giveaways since TikTok, so I appreciate everyone who has supported me. And once we do have 1,000 subs on YouTube, I'm going to do the same thing. I might even double it, to be honest. Have 6 winners, or maybe 3 winners win 100 or something like that. So, like I said, very happy and just hungry to do more. So let's just keep on rolling. Let's just keep on riding the high. And last card, I should say, we went 7-4 in the predictions. Not my finest work, but definitely could have been worse with the way the fights were going. Prelims, we went 4-3 and then 3-1 in the main card, with one fight ultimately not happening because Bellotto, and I quote, got herpes. Can't predict that. So regardless of that, I mean, there's a solid amount of fights on this card. I believe 11. One actually almost got canceled, but it didn't. So let's just quickly run through this card. Like I said, it's not the best card. We have some great fights coming this summer. So bear with me. I know there's going to be a few fights that you're like, I don't care about. Listen, I was watching film and I said the same thing, but we're still here now. So just bear with me and let's just roll from the bottom up. And might I say, honestly, very, very fire main card, or main event, I should say. But first fight of the night, Ryan dos Santos, where the hell did you go? Versus Alice Ardelean. Now, Ardelean is an inch taller. They have the same reach, and she also has a half-inch leg reach advantage. Now, I will say these are 2 fighters that, right off the bat, I'm just like, watching film was rough. They're both on losing streaks. Haven't really looked too impressive, to be honest. Ryan is 14-8. She's 0-2 in the UFC. Both by split decision. One to Alan Carr, which is not a good loss, to be honest, and even worse with Puja Tamar, which, I mean, Tamar has the power, but she was a heavy favorite in that fight and just wasn't able to do enough against Tamar. Tamar just outlanded by 11 strikes, but even round by round, you could just tell that she was just kind of running away with it. If you count Contender Series, she's dropped 3 in the UFC. Denise Gomes, obviously, at this point, is slowly becoming a contender as well. And Alice Ardelean, like I said, 0-2, lost to Shauna Bannon. Bannon just outstruck her. It was clear what the game plan was going to be. She tried to take her down. She did, but just couldn't do enough. Same thing with Melissa Martinez. She, outlanded her. Just wasn't, when you look at the fight itself, just didn't seem like she really had it. And I think the same thing happens here. Regardless if Alice outlands her, I feel like Dos Santos is going to have the bigger moments. I think striking wise, she's better on the feet with her kicks. She's just going to look like the stockier, heavier fighter. She might even try to get a takedown. She lands a takedown, a fight, 40% accuracy, nothing special. And Dos Santos has an 88% takedown defense. So even if that's her game plan, don't really see it going too well for her. In terms of the odds themselves, Ryan Dos Santos is a minus 290. Kind of pretty much stayed relatively the same since the odds opened. I don't really love the line, especially for a first fight, women's MMA. A lot of things can happen. We've seen a lot of dogs, especially around the 200 range, lose that first fight of the night. So probably will stay away. But I do like Dos Santos to win here. So give me Ryan Dos Santos to win by decision. Next fight. Bolaji Oki versus Michael Aswell. Aswell is actually coming in on short notice for this fight. Oki did have someone else, which would have been a much better fight. So off the bat, Oki has the advantage. He was already in camp. And he's going to need to bounce back here because he did lose his last fight. But against Aswell, he's going to be 2 inches taller. He's going to have the 4-inch reach advantage and the 3-inch leg reach advantage. Like I said, Oki is coming off of a loss. He's 9-2. He lost to Chris Duncan by guillotine. I mean, I think he was a pretty massive favorite in that fight as well. Fight ended in a round. I mean, a little over half a round. He took Duncan down more times. He outstruck him, but just got caught because of his poor or his lack of IQ, or at least defensive IQ. You know, we know that he's a monster in there. He's pretty stocky, pretty big. Pulled out a split decision win against Timmy Kawamba, which was also a weird short notice fight for Kawamba. Obviously made a scene from the Contender Series, and he kind of got fraud checked by Chris Duncan, who, you know, is good enough to be in the UFC, has the power as well, but is also a savvy, could say kind of becoming a veteran at this point, has a lot more fights in the UFC. I mean, at this point, Oki only had 1 UFC fight technically, not considering Contender Series, and Chris Duncan had 3-4 of them before that. Now he's riding a 2-fight win streak, both by guillotine. He was an underdog in both of those, which was fire. Shout out to Chris Duncan. Not a bad loss at all. And then we have Michael Aswell Jr., who lost to Bogdan on Contender Series by split decision, where he outlanded Bogdan, but got taken down. Not much control either from Bogdan, honestly, a minute and a half, but just very close numbers. Very close numbers. Just couldn't pull it out. And he's getting a chance again to redeem himself against someone like Oki on short notice. Now, on the feet, I think that he might be able to land more. But my issue with Aswell is, you know, once he feels that power from Oki, is he going to be able to do enough to just withstand that for 3 rounds? I'm not so sure. Timmy Kawamba was able to, but we know Timmy Kawamba's throwing a lot back. His jabs are lethal. His knees are lethal. We saw in his last fight against Roberto Romero. Flying knee TKO. I mean, picture perfect. We predicted him to win by TKO. He was an underdog. So, and obviously, Aswell's no Chris Duncan, where he's going to be able to just sub him off the bat just because Oki might be trying to take him down. I think Oki's going to have a lot more success with the takedowns, and if he's practicing his submission defense and just understanding where to be in his positions in this fight, I think he's going to be able to dominate this fight against Aswell. I think he's going to be able to take him down. If he gets tired, he'll just hold, breathe, maintain, suffocate him a little bit. But overall, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem for him. Again, I mean, in terms of the odds, Oki in his first fight against Medeiros was a minus 186. Now he's skyrocketed to minus 400 against Aswell. Like I said, he was in camp. He feels like the stronger, better fighter for sure. He knows that he's better on the ground. As long as he's just not getting outpointed on the feet, he should be able to pull out a decision win, or even, I mean, he has that power too. Nice little ground and pound. Can absolutely see that happening. So give me Bolaji Oki to win by TKO or decision. Next fight. Trevin Giles versus Andreas Gustafsson. Now, Trevin Giles, as we all know, is a very, 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 very proven veteran in the UFC. He's going to be an inch shorter here, but he is going to have the 1-inch arm reach or half-inch reach advantage, and Gustafsson is going to have the 1-inch leg reach advantage. Now, Trevin Giles is coming off of a loss. He's 16-7, 7-7 in the UFC. He's dropped. We're not going to count the grappling. We're not going to count the grappling match, but he's dropped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of his last 7 fights. A lot of them by finish. DDP, the champ right now, finished him. Michael Morales, big Ecuadorian dog, finished him. Then he won a 1 decision win. Then he won another one to Preston Parsons. Very low level wins here. Lost to Bonfim, who, kind of trash too. Then got smoked by Brachis, and then lost a decision to Mike Malott. I mean, who he's losing to, they're not bad losses, but there comes a point where it really doesn't matter who you're fighting. If you're losing, and you're just not at that level anymore. And that's okay, because Trevin Giles is 32, but 14 fights in the UFC. Every fight that I've said was, he even has one more in 2021. So he's been pretty damn active, fighting twice a year at least. He fought 3 times. He fought twice and then grappled once in 2022. But he's been fighting twice a year, which is very active, and he keeps getting finished. So we have Gustafsson here, who's 11-2. He's making his debut. 1-1 in KSW. Very solid org, where in Contender Series he picked up a TKO win, knees to the head. And he's just knocking people out. He has 8 TKO wins in his career. He's only lost 2 fights, both by decision. Now, that is the only way Trevin Giles will win. He's not going to finish him. Trevin Giles, like I said, he's crafty on the feet, but it's not like he's overbearing or, he's his combos are super slick. At the end of the day, he has wear and tear. He's getting old as well. And Gustafsson is older than, he's 34, but less fights. Hasn't really fought that higher level of competition where he is, gotten smoked before, we should say. He hasn't fought DDP where DDP takes his head off. So this is a tough one just because there's not much to go off of based off one performance on Contender Series and then lower level competition for Gustafsson. But Trevin Giles at this point, like I said in his career, he's dropped 5 of his last 7. He's not thrown too much per minute, 3.17 strikes per minute. That's really not a lot for fighting someone like Gustafsson, who's going to be throwing right back at you. He looks like an animal. He looks like a Viking. I think he's going to try to kill him, honestly. And I think he knows that he might be at a disadvantage if this fight gets further than maybe, let's just say, the second round. So he will be looking for a finish within those first 2 rounds, absolutely. And against someone like Giles, who is durable at a point, and then at some point he just starts, if he's really getting just mauled, let's say if he's just on his back foot a lot, Gustafsson's going to notice that. He's going to try to flying knee him to hell. And I think that can absolutely happen here. Gustafsson's only been to 3 decisions, lost 2 of them. Doesn't want to get there against someone like Giles, who, if given a 3rd round, he can win a fight. If it's tied 1-1, he can win that 3rd round. Just understanding how the fight is going and just his IQ itself, being there with a lot stronger people than Gustafsson before, he can absolutely win this fight if it gets to the decision, which I don't think Gustafsson's going to want to do. So he's going to be on the gas early. Now, Gustafsson is a -172. Not loving it. Not going to lie. I would not play this line, to be honest. I just think it's more towards maybe like a finish prop. If you'd like Gustafsson, Giles, if you like Giles, take a Giles by decision. Gustafsson has never been finished. He can absolutely win a round, or even 2 rounds if it gets after the second. If it's 1-1, really, really not a bad place to take Trevin Giles. But I still like Gustafsson here. Like I said, he's just going to be pressuring him a lot more. So give me Andreas Gustafsson to win by TKO or submission. Next fight, Kurt Holobaugh versus Jordan Leavitt. Now, we haven't seen Jordan Leavitt in like a year and a half, to be honest. But Kurt is going to be 2 inches taller here. But Jordan Leavitt will have the 1-inch arm reach advantage, and they both have the same leg reach advantage. Now, like I said, we haven't seen Jordan Leavitt in a while, and it's probably because he got smoked by none other than Chase Hooper. He did grapple in 2024 and lost by decision, but he got choked out by Chase Hooper before that. You know, beat Victor Martinez, lost to Patty. Had some success against Patty a little bit early, but nothing crazy. Jordan Leavitt's never going to be something like a contender. And he's young. I mean, he's 29. He's solid, great submission skills, 6 submissions in his career. Never been TKO'd. Did get hurt though by Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper with his long arms too, just ground and pound, which is insane. Like he's hitting him. He's not even really in any type of control. And Jordan Leavitt's just kind of there on the ground. Striking's not as clean, as it probably should be in the UFC. Really going to have to pick his battles when the matchmakers try to give him fights, to be honest. And then we have Kurt Holobaugh, who's 21-9. He's 38 years old. He's 2-6 in the UFC. Might I add, he was in the UFC before. He went 0-3. 1 TKO, 1 sub, and 1 decision. Just perfectly sucks. And then we have him now, since 2023, beat Austin Hubbard, lost to Trey Ogden, beat Krzyzewski. Krzyzewski sucks. And then lost to Alexander Hernandez. Hernandez kind of mid, but, some days Alexander Hernandez looks like a top contender, especially because he's so young. What is he, 31 at this point? 32? Has the power, has the technique, just IQ's down the drain. But he lost to him. And he's 38. I just don't like that. I just don't like that. Obviously, he's very sound on the ground, too. 10 career submissions, 7 career TKOs. At this point, though, if you're going to have so many fights and you're 38, you're bound to have a lot on your record when it comes to that. But not everyone is 7 decision losses. He's only won 4 decisions and 7 decision losses, including his last 2 in the UFC, which were both by decisions, or we could say last 3 if we count the one from 2019. But he was on a phenomenal win streak, then went to Ultimate Fighter 2, and that's when he beat Hubbard. So technically, without that, he'd be 1-2. But regardless of that, I don't like that spot. I think Jordan Leavitt, like I said, hasn't been around since 2023. He's been recovering. He's been resting. He's probably working on his striking as well. He has that 1-inch reach. Doesn't really do much because once it's as close as that, it really just depends on your movement and your combinations and how just your head movement as well and everything along those lines. And I kind of just feel like Jordan Leavitt's ready to take on this type of challenge. Someone like Holobaugh, who's been around for a while, picked up a few solid wins as well. Austin Hubbard's not a scrub. Krzyzewski's kind of a scrub, but hey, a win's a win. Jordan Leavitt's going to be looking to just work on his striking. He wants to be proven here to work on his striking because he's not going to want to take Holobaugh really to the ground as much as probably people think. Like I said, Holobaugh is very sound. He could try to lock something in, but I think he's going to want to prove something here, which he can against a 38-year-old Kurt Holobaugh. I think his striking is going to be a lot cleaner than people think, and I think he can pull through a decision. Against a fighter who literally has 7 losses by decision in his career. It's not like Jordan Leavitt has been outstriking everyone. His highest is 69 significant strikes against Trey Ogden. Trey Ogden's kind of a punching bag at times, at least at that point. I think Holobaugh is going to be a punching bag. Because he's thrown. He threw 92 against Krzyzewski. Didn't throw a lot in that loss because Trey Ogden took him down 3 times. And he also controlled him for 11 minutes. I can see that happening as well. I just don't think he's going to give up the position. And he'd rather just stay there and win a decision against someone like Holobaugh. Now, when you see the odds, Jordan Leavitt's minus 230. He was minus 188. Not a bad spot, to be honest. Not a bad spot at all. I kind of like Jordan Leavitt by decision, probably plus money. Not a bad spot for him. Like I said, I think he dominates Holobaugh at this point. 38-year-old Holobaugh, prime Jordan Leavitt, off a year and a half, just rest. Give me Jordan Leavitt to win by decision. Next fight, Filho versus Alan Nascimento. Now we have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu we just have a grappling match here, pretty much. We just have a break of a grappling match. Now, Nascimento is going to be an inch taller with an inch reach advantage and a 1 inch leg reach advantage. Nascimento is 26, 2-1 in the UFC, just a bunch of canceled fights. Hasn't fought since January of 2023 where he choked out Carlos Hernandez. Carlos Hernandez, wasn't that the same dude that just pretty much got smoked 2 weeks ago? Yeah. Won a decision against Jack Hadley. Now, I'm going to be focusing on this fight a lot because this fight pissed me off. He won a decision win. He won a decision. And he threw 19 strikes. I will never defend someone who won a 15-minute fight and landed 19 strikes. Look at this. Look at this. Does this look right to you? He's blue, and it looks so far off because Jack Hadley couldn't do shit either. So he's just his fault, and that's why he's in the PFL now. But I mean, you have 9.5 minutes of control, and you can't do anything? I mean, you can't do anything? He didn't even have a sub attempt. Jack Hadley did. Jake. I'm changing his name now because he's ass. So technically he's on a 2-fight win streak, but he hasn't fought in over 2 years. Filho is also on a 2-fight win streak, but at least he fought last year against Ode Osborne, picked up a rear naked choke, arm triangle against Barras. Barras is he's a scrapper, also had a knockdown in that fight. Filho also has hands, Dana White Contender Series, finished by TKO, or won by TKO. Lost to Mokaev, but listen, that was a absolute scrap. Filho looked like he had him for a while. I mean, kind of looked like he was going to break Mokaev's leg. And Mokaev just survived and just was able to pull out that win. He's kind of a dog. Like I said, they're both, known for their ground game. Nascimento has 15 subs, 1 TKO win. Filho has 10 subs. He has been subbed before, like I said, 1 to Mokaev. 16 wins. He's on the juice in this photo, by the way. He does not look like that anymore. 10 sub wins. And he did grapple Amir Albazi just in December, and he won. This is a tricky one because I think Nascimento is just as good on the ground, but I just feel like Filho is going to have the more dominant hands here. He's clearly stronger. I think that even if Nascimento is able to take him down, there's going to be so much scrambling. I mean, usually that's what happens. Wrestler, grappler. That tends to be we're just going to scrap on the feet. I think Filho can knock down Nascimento, potentially. Someone who doesn't really have that many TKOs. He's not looking to finish someone. Filho is looking to finish you no matter how. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Nascimento is a little more safe and a little more sound. But I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for the person that's trying to finish you. And that's what Filho is. Now, Filho is an underdog here. He's plus 128. He's been plus 128. I like that a lot. I do. I like that a lot. Nascimento, who hasn't fought in over 2 years, is minus 164. Get that out of here. I don't want that. I don't like that at all. Give me Jafel Filho to win by submission. Main card time. First fight on the main card, we have Zachary Reese versus Duško Todorović. Now, Zachary Reese is going to look like a monster in here. He's 6'4". He's 3 inches taller. He has the 3-inch reach advantage and the 4-inch leg reach advantage. Just off anatomy, he's going to be throwing everything. He's going to be throwing the kitchen fucking sink at him. Zach Reese is 8-2. Both those losses, TKO. 2-2 in the UFC. Lost to Brundage because he got slammed on his head trying to land a triangle. Then he beat Marquez. Marquez is not good. Jose Medina, not really that good either. Lost to Bekaev. Sorry, Bekaev, if you're watching this. Who's also a dog. Came in, short notice, said fuck it, and just smoked him. Ground and pound. Nasty ground and pound, by the way. ATT, man. ATT. Anyways. Now, Todorović, also AI. Looks like AI in this photo. He is 3-5 in the UFC, and he has lost 3 of his last 4. Lost to Chidi, We know, I mean, with an elbow, we knew exactly the move Chidi did just immediately. Beat Jordan Wright, lost to CLD, knee injury, but you know what? CLD was probably going to piece him up. Very similar to Chidi, very long stance, long arms, lanky striker. And then he lost to Mansour Abdul Malik, also TKO. Malik is an absolute monster. Absolute monster. Undefeated. Look at him. He's a monster. Not a bad loss at all. And then beat Nick Klein. So not bad losses, but listen, what were all of these? TKO losses. His one win against Jordan Wright, TKO. His other one win in the UFC, TKO. He's looking for the finish, and Zachary Reese is too. This fight is not going to the decision. I don't care. Now, who has the better boxing? Maybe maybe Duško. Maybe Duško has the better boxing, but Zachary Reese is the better striker. He's easily the better grappler. I mean, not even a question there. I'm a little bit afraid if Zach Reese has recovered from that TKO. I'm not going to lie, because that only happened in January. It's only been 4 months. Kind of scary. Not that long, honestly. To suffer the ground and pound that he did, not that long. But clearly he's ready to fight. He knows Todorović, whatever, Duško is not that good. He's longer, better ground game. Might not have the better boxing, but has the better striking, better knees, better kicks to the body. He's going to be taller in there. He's going to be able to take Duško down. This is all leaning towards a Zachary Reese finish. He wants to finish here for sure. That's why he's coming in. They gave him this fight. He knows the risk of coming a little earlier than he's supposed to. He knows what he's coming here to do, and that's to finish Duško. Now, Duško, or I should say Zachary Reese, is a minus 265. Not bad. Minus 295 before. Money coming on Duško. Even better. People are fading him for you. You're welcome. Obviously, they're scared because he's coming in very early from that TKO, which is why his odds are like that. But he's still the better fighter. He's still the better fighter by miles. By miles. Is his chin there? That's the only risk here. Because if he loses that to him, he probably gets cut. So he knows what he's got to do. I think he finishes him on the feet. We know he could sub him, but I think he has a point to prove with them hands. I think he has a point to prove. So give me Zachary Reese to win by knockout or TKO. Next fight, we have a ranked bantamweight fight between Ketlen Vieira versus Maycee Chiasson. Now Chiasson is going to be 3 inches taller, has the 4-inch reach advantage and the 2.5-inch leg reach advantage. Now Chiasson has been looking really good as of late. I mean, 10-3, 8-3 in the UFC, has won 2 straight, but if we're being honest, probably should have won 4 straight because she beat Norma Dumont. Before that, she got subbed by the former champ Raquel Pennington. Not a bad loss at all. If you lose to Raquel, it's not a bad loss. Beat Norma Dumont. Lost to Irene Aldana because she was dominating and Irene Aldana just up-kicks her and kicks her liver, and we just see Chiasson go, oh shit, I've never felt that before. Immediately drops, and it's over. Then Pete beats Pani Kianzad by rear naked choke, and then was beating the shit out of Mayra Bueno Silva, where the doctor was like, I mean, the cut was like, I can't show it, but it's fucking gross. 1-2 performance of the night. Bonuses on those fights. I mean, has been looking phenomenal, not just with her hands, but just getting takedowns, just her control on the ground of even keeping a body lock and even just still unleashing and just flowing down there is beautiful to see. Beautiful to see. And she's fighting someone, Ketlen Vieira, who's very stagnant at times. She's very heavy. She has hands. People view Ketlen as if she's some monster knockout Francis Ngannou variant. All I see are decisions. She lost a decision to Kayla Harrison. She beat Pani Kianzad by decision. Lost to Raquel Pennington, not a bad loss, split by decision. Beat Holly Holm. Holly Holm in 2022 is still 45 years old. Beat Holly Holm by split decision. Beat Misha Tate by decision. Lost to Yana Santos. by decision. Eubanks decision. The last time there was even an ounce of her finishing a fight was Sarah McMahon in 2017. Come on now. Come on now. We have someone who's rising to the top, and Kellen Vieira, who just lost to Kayla, and she was just standing there. I mean, it literally made no sense. It literally made no sense. Now, Chiasson doesn't have a lot of great takedown accuracy. She's been in the UFC for so long, though, so can't really even be mad. But she still averages 2.37 takedowns per fight. Kellen Vieira has very good takedown defense, 88%, gets some takedowns on her own, but she gets outstruck. How does she win fights? She gets, for every 3 strikes per minute, she gets hit 4. Kayla Harrison outstruck her by over double, 2 takedowns. Beat Penny Khanzad because she landed 3 takedowns as well. Some sub attempts, boring ass fight. Lost to Pennington, got outstruck. Beat Holly Holm, got outstruck. Beat Miesha Tate, got outstruck. Maycee Chiasson is a minus 125. She actually opened as an underdog, and people were smart because she shouldn't have been an underdog. Now she's minus 125. Pretty much still kind of slight favorite, but for the UFC, you got to take these type of fights, to be honest. Some of these fights, like minus 400, like you don't want to bet on that. But Chiasson at minus 125, to me, is like one of the best lines you can get, to be honest. She's just on the rise now. She has no real threat from Vieira really on the feet, or Aldana is more of a threat. Her boxing's weak. She's just heavy and big, and she just will throw hooks at time to time, some up kicks, but overall, Chiasson is the better fighter. So give me Maycee Chiasson to win by decision. Next fight, we have Dustin Jacoby versus Bruno Lopes. Now, Jacoby's an inch taller, has the 1.5-inch reach advantage, and the 3.5-inch leg, or 3.5-inch leg reach advantage. Jacoby's coming in with a massive win on his hands. 8-6 in the UFC in 1 draw. Massive win against Petrino, which was a war in itself. I mean, it was an absolute war. Did get that knockdown, which ultimately ended the fight. 45 strikes to 40, but when it's these two big dudes, 45 and 40 is pretty much double. It's like 90 and 80 because they're just landing bombs on each other. But before that, he did lose 4 of his last 5 because he's not taking easy fights. Khalil Roundtree, split decision that he probably should have won because before that 4-5 winning streak probably should have been 5. Lost to Azamat, easy. Just couldn't defend those kicks. Beat Kennedy by TKO. Very good win. Lost to Alonzo. Looked very good. We had Alonzo as an underdog. Just kept hitting him. Dropped him once. Felt like it dropped him twice, to be honest. Lost to Dom Reyes. Dom Reyes just was on the up in 2024. Just looking to come back. And then, very close fight with Petrino until the 3rd where he just absolutely smoked him. Probably 1-1 going into the 3rd, and then he just finished it off. He was like, I'm not trying to go to the judges. I don't want that here. So, very good. He is a kickboxer, so his boxing's slick as fuck. Doesn't want to be taken to the ground. He's not looking for takedowns. Averages a third of a takedown per fight. Look how many fights this is. 62% takedown defense, not bad. Obviously, he's going to outstrike you on the feet. He's a kickboxer. He's literally a kickboxer. Then we have Bruno Lopes, who lost his Contender Series, first one, against Ribeiro. Brennison Ribeiro. Then he came back and smoked this dude. And then won a decision against Magomed Gaziosulov. I said that right. Now, even in that fight, he was an underdog. But Bruno Lopes, you would have thought it was the other way around, where Homie was going to out-wrestle Bruno Lopes. No. Bruno Lopes said, fuck that. I'm landing takedowns and I'm controlling you. He landed 5 out of 14 takedowns and had 9 minutes and 19 seconds of control of a 15-minute fight. That means, if we were to do the math, 3 out of the 5, or how should I say this? 60% of the fight was him controlling Gaziev on the feet, on the ground. I'm sorry. Outstruck him too. Still landed 33 significant strikes. Not a bad win at all. Obviously, these stats are kind of skewed because he doesn't have too much on his plate in terms of the UFC yet. So it says he's got outstruck before, 100% takedown defense, 33% takedown accuracy. Not much to see at this point, but we know that he can take people down. Monsters like Magomed. He's going to probably be able to do the same with Jacoby. Now, he has the hands to keep this on the feet, but I also feel like he is smart enough to know that he might have to take this to the ground against someone like Jacoby, who doesn't really have the best takedown defense, and even worse if he's already on the ground to control. If I'm Bruno Lopes, that's how you pick up another win. You just pressure him on the cage, try to land that double just heavy, pressure him just right under, and just keep him down there for at least like a round. I think that if you tire him out and you just suffocate him on the ground, you just keep working. Just give him something to look at. Even if you don't try to take him down, give him something else to think about. You do that with someone like Justin Jacoby, he's going to be overthinking in there. He's obviously also getting older. That's, you can fake a takedown, land a bomb on him. Land a right hook, bomb. Jacoby's very hittable. His chin is, so-so. He's been hit a lot before. So, can't say it's gone, but we know Bruno Lopes can get smoked by someone like Vieira, so that's also a risk, Long boxers, strikers like that. Vieira, long-ass arms. Jacoby doesn't have the very long arms, but he has the technique on the feet to hurt you. So Bruno's going to be looking to get some takedowns. If he's smart, he's able to take down someone heavier with better takedown defense than Magomed and shown in the past. I don't think he's going to want to keep this on the feet. Now, Bruno Lopes is an underdog here, plus 152, and that's because of that knockout win from Dustin Jacoby. But this is going to be a much closer fight, and I think it could end up being a decision, regardless of the way it goes. Which a decision prop, not a bad idea either. Was a plus 148, relatively the same. I do like Bruno Lopes here. I think he's going to be able to land those takedowns, and I think he can make it boring. And honestly, he should. So, give me Bruno Lopes to win by TKO or decision. Next fight, 3 more fights. Billy Ray Goff versus Ramiz Brahimaj. Now, same height, but Goff has the half-inch reach advantage and the 1-inch leg reach advantage. Now, Billy Ray Goff is a dog. 9-3, 1-1 in the UFC, 2-0 in Bellator. Not bad. Lost to Trey Waters. But an absolute, fight of the night. Fight of the night by both of them. Shout out to both of them. But before that, did win a TKO win, or did pick up a TKO win, and the Contender Series did also pick up another TKO win. Trey Waters, long, lanky. Brahimaj going to be in his face as well with that power. This is going to be a dog fight from both of them. Now, Brahimaj is from New York, so I already feel bad fading him. 10 sub wins, 4 losses by decision. 1 TKO win, which was his last one against Mickey Gall. Then lost to Themba. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he's a good fighter. So I'm not going to waste too much time here. I just don't think he's that. He lost to Court McGee in 2022. That's not a good loss, to be honest. Billy Ray Goff is on the come up. That Trey Waters loss, not a bad loss at all. They're going to be in each other's faces. I like Billy Ray Goff here. Do I like them odds? I do not. Billy Ray Goff is minus 350. Don't love that at all. Probably would stay away from this fight because I don't like betting on or I don't like predicting or anything. I don't mind predictions, but you know what I mean. If the heavy favorite is the scrapper, I don't want to, really look at it too much because it's scary as hell. Because he can also just get clipped. Brahimaj has that power, as we saw against Mickey Gall. So I'm going to try to stay away from that fight. But I still like Billy Ray Goff to win. So give me Billy Ray Goff to win by knockout or TKO. Next fight. Co-main event. Mateusz Gamrot versus Ľudovít Klein. Gamrot is 3 inches taller. but Klein has the 2-inch reach advantage and the 2-inch leg reach advantage. This is going to be a crazy matchup because I think this is kind of a little disrespectful to Gamrot for giving him a fight like this, but Klein is game. Klein is super game. He's 23-4 and 1 in overall, 7-1 in the UFC. Has lost in every way, but 9 TKOs, 8 subs, 6 decisions, and this really shows in his fights. He's very well rounded. Very well rounded. He hasn't lost a fight since 2021. He's won 6, or I should be unbeaten in 7. Majority draw. We scratched that out. He's on a 6-fight win streak against good names. Mason Jones is not a bad name. Bahamundes is not a bad name. AJ Cunningham is not a bad name. Thiago Moises is not a bad name. Rizzo Roberts, a little bit of a bad name, but I don't blame him. I'm pretty sure it was short notice as well. Now Gamrot, 24-3, former KSW champion, 13-0 in KSW, 7-3 in the UFC, not bad at all. You see the losses. I mean, split to Garam in 2020, not a bad loss. Beat Armin. He's lost to Benil. Benil just cracked him. Then went on a 3-fight win streak. I know the Fiziev. Trust me, I was on Fiziev as well. But you know what? Still a 3-fight win streak. At that point, still 7 of his last 8 wins or fights were wins. Then lost a split to Dan Hooker. Very close. Probably could have edged it out. He was just looking for too many takedowns, to be honest. And now he's fighting a stud in Klein, where Gamrot is 34. Is Klein 31? He's 30. Prime Klein. Prime Klein, that's what I'm going to call him. This is a tough one. This is really a tough one because I feel like this is a little disrespectful to Gamrot, right? Proven. Probably should have was in backup for title fight that he probably should have gotten, but they gave it to Volk again, and look what happened. Should have been Gamrot. Would have been a banger fight between the two, but he kind of does like worse against like strikers. So I'm a little afraid against someone like Klein, who's so well versatile that 91% takedown defense. He gets a little under 2 takedowns of his own, 3.81 significant strikes per minute. Where Gamrot's 3.23, and he gets hit 3.22. Makes a lot of sense. 35% takedown accuracy. I'm really on the fence here. I just think Klein's knees are a little more dangerous. I think he's just gonna stay on the feet. He's a lot more dynamic in there. He's gonna be a lot shorter, which he might not land a lot of head kicks. I should say Klein is, but a lot of knees down the middle, a lot of body kicks, even teep kicks. He's gonna be working on a lot of kicks. Against the taller fighters, it's gonna be a lot harder to take down Klein. But Gamrot might just try to pressure him on the cage as much as he can. Just knee his thighs a lot. Little things like that for him to win the fight. It's a 3-rounder. Gamrot, honestly, I think Gamrot does better in 5-rounders. He has more time to work on his style. Klein is more dynamic, which is why I'm a bit afraid for Gamrot here. Klein is an underdog. Plus 134. Rightfully so. But I'm still going to take Klein. He's younger. He's in his prime. This is a great win. He takes this fight, wins it. He needs one more, and he might be in the title picture. He might need one more after this to fight for a title. Who knows? It's a little mixy up there, but he has a chance. They might even give him max after this, honestly, where he probably loses. But regardless, without takedowns, Gamrot's not much. And a 91% takedown defense, I'm taking that. I'm riding that all day. Give me Ľudovít Klein to win by TKO or decision. Now, last fight of the night and main event. We have Erin Blanchfield versus Maycee Barber. Now, Maycee Barber is an inch taller, but Blanchfield holds the 1-inch arm reach advantage, and Maycee Barber holds the 2-inch leg reach advantage. Now, this is a banger fight between the two. I mean, Blanchfield was on her way to fighting for a title. She's 13-2, 7-1 in the UFC. Picked up a win against Rose Namajunas in her last fight. Very close fight until the end, but she was losing those first few rounds, and then she stuck to her game plan. A lot of control, some takedowns. Outlanded Rose. 193 total strikes, 110 significant strikes. Landed 2 takedowns for 9 minutes of control. I mean, that's what you have to do against someone like Rose. especially in a 5-round fight where you're going to probably lose that first round, maybe even the second, which she did. And she lost, and she wins the next 3. Just sticking to her game plan. That's all she has to do, really. If she's not getting finishes, she hasn't gotten a finish in a while. 3 straight fights where she didn't get a finish. But here's the thing. She couldn't take down the last 2, which is why she couldn't even look for any fit. She doesn't have, power in her hands. She's more a submission artist. 13 wins, 4 subs, 7 decisions. Before those last 3 fights, this was a lot closer. Now, Maycee Barber is 14-2. The UFC has kind of been brewing her up for a while now. She's 9-2 in the UFC. She's picked up 6 straight wins, but very questionable. Miranda Maverick was split decision. A decision against Montana De La Rosa, not great. Win to Jessica Ai, pretty good. That split to Andrea Lee, she did not win that fight. But you know what? The UFC is going to say she's on a 6-fight win streak. Ground and pound to Ribas, which was great. And great win against Ketlen, Chikugian, Seminara, whatever. Has the hands for sure. Took down Seminara 4 times. Just about a round of control there. Just outworked Ketlen. Same thing with Ribas. Even Ribas landed 2 takedowns. But Maycee Barber, she's not, I don't think she's really special anywhere. But I think that she's just kind of a workhorse. She's going to throw with you. She doesn't care about getting hit. I mean, she lands 4.7 strikes per minute. Gets hit 2.9. Gets about a takedown and a half per fight. 43% takedown accuracy, but 53% takedown defense. And this is my problem here, right? Because I feel like Maycee Barber understands that if she doesn't get taken down, she can very much win this fight. She probably sees how those fights went with Erin Blanchfield and Taila Santos, where she won, but very close, and lost to Manon Fiorot, where Fiorot just did not let her. I mean, Blanchfield was 0 for 3 in takedowns. Even Fiorot landed a takedown. 0 for 3 in takedowns, but she was getting thrown around. She got 50-45. 50-45. Manon Fiorot was an underdog. We had Fiorot. We knew, monster takedown defense. No one was going to take her down anyways. And then Rose, how those first few rounds went. Maycee Barber is going to want to do the same thing. She's going to want to keep it on the feet as much as possible. I think she's going to be able to do that early in the first round. I don't know if she's going to be able to do it for 5 rounds. She kind of stays stagnant at times. Now, is there power coming her way? Not really. Erin Blanchfield lands 5 strikes per minute. I wonder how many how many of those strikes are on the feet, compared to the ground. But gets hit 4.21. She's hittable too. These numbers are kind of skewed, though, because Manon Fiorot landed 172 significant strikes on her. That's not good. 31% takedown accuracy. It is what it is. She fought 2 monsters in Santos and Fiorot. She went 0 for 14 on takedowns against Taila Santos. Those numbers are gonna fuck up your stats, But still, just a little under 2 takedowns, average. Listen, we all know what's going to happen. Maycee Barber is going to try to attack her early, win that first round, but I think she gets at some point taken down and controlled. Erin Blanchfield is so good on the ground, it's actually absurd. And I think she's going to show her skills here as much as possible, and I think she's going to be able to pick up a nice sub-win against Maycee Barber. Now, in terms of the odds, Blanchfield is a -250. Not loving it, but she should be the favorite. She's a better fighter. She's a better ground game. Might not have the better hands, but overall, IQ-wise, skill, everything else, she is a savage. And I think she should be fighting for a title soon. She'll redeem herself from that loss against Fiorot. So give me Erin Blanchfield to win by submission. And that concludes UFC Vegas 107. Erin Blanchfield versus Maycee Barber. 11 fights. Man, it felt good to do this again. As always, please like, favorite, share, send this to your homies, please. It all helps. And obviously sub, like I said, we're at 500 subs here now. Once we get to 1,000, I will keep on grinding to do that. Keep on watching these fights for you guys, breaking them down as much as possible. And of course, please join the Discord. The link is already in the bio and in the description below. That is where you'll find everything else, a lot more information. and a lot more other things that you already know that you can get for $14.99. It is the best price in the market, and you're not just getting UFC, you're getting baseball, tennis, basketball, WNBA, other boxing promotions, not by just me, but my team, my 2 moderators as well, the community itself. But regardless of all that, I just want to thank everyone else and everyone for the constant support, and hopefully these predictions go as well as I think they're going to do. We have a few dogs, and I'll see you guys next week. To be honest, I'm excited to do this again, and I'll see you guys for the fights. Let's keep cashing.